So as promised, I'm going to break down all of Caitlin Clark's assists and turnovers in their last game against the Chicago Sky. And these ones actually will probably shock you. Now, if you guys saw my last breakdown of assists and turnovers, a play like this happened and they called it a turnover on Kelsey Mitchell. Well, this time it's a turnover on Caitlin Clark. It shouldn't have been a turnover on Caitlin Clark. This is not Caitlin Clark's fault. So this first turnover, I really don't think it's her fault at all. Kelsey Mitchell just did not catch the ball. Now, this next turnover is a bad pass by Caitlin Clark. And we see this a lot with Caitlin, where she's not going to give you a bad look, but she's going to give you a bad pass to a good look because it's not enough strength in the pass. She's not throwing it hard enough. So it's a sloppy pass, and the defender just had her hand in the cookie jar. So that turnover is her fault. Now, Caitlin's first assist this game is really beautiful. What you're going to notice that I've talked about many times in my past 5 videos is that when Caitlin Clark off the rebound is pushing the pace, or even off an inbound is pushing the pace, good things happen. Alyssa Smith is learning where to go. Aaliyah Boston is learning where to go, and I'm going to have to say that a lot of times in this video. These players are learning where to go. Now, this play was pretty good. Caitlin Clark draws 2 defenders. The screen was very sloppy though, but she drew 2 defenders and Alyssa Smith popped out. Now, if you'll notice, Alyssa Smith had an opportunity to cut into the lane, and I'll put a picture on the screen, but she did have an opportunity to roll, which I would have liked, and she kind of got bailed out by the fact that her defender slipped up. But if it works, it works, so we're not going to sit there and complain about it. But next time, if you're playing the Sun, the defender's probably not going to fall to the ground, so what you're going to want to do is you want to cut when you have that lane if you're Alyssa Smith. Now, if you guys saw my last video, I talked about the pump fake screens. This pump fake screen actually worked just because the Chicago Sky don't know how to play defense. This was a terrible action by, a terrible pick and roll. It's not even a pick and roll. I don't know what's happening here, but it works out. And Aaliyah Boston is learning where to go. So just having that on-court awareness to be able to, even if the play wasn't good, to know that the defense is playing a certain type of defense to where if I roll, I'm going to have a lane. That is really good and encouraging to see from these players. Aaliyah Boston rolls to the lane. Caitlin Clark finds her. She's learning that if she just rolls to the lane, good things happen. Now, this next play is really amazing. Caitlin Clark off the rebound is pushing the pace. When they push the pace, good things happen. And Aaliyah Boston is finding out that if she just goes to the paint and post up just a little bit, Caitlin Clark is going to be looking for her. It was really a sloppy post up, but she posted up just enough to where Caitlin can get her the ball, because I think Aaliyah, even in this game, is learning just to run. You're going to see it so much more in this game. She's actively learning. This play, she was like, well, maybe I should just post up a little bit. And you see her post up a little bit. And next play, she's going to actually be down there. Let me show y'all the next play, man. Now, the freaking cutscene, whatever, kind of messes up the film, but what you're going to notice on this play is that Aaliyah Boston rolls directly to the basket. She rolled directly to the basket. Right off the double team, she goes directly to the basket. The footwork down there was beautiful, and she made that shot that I don't think she should have made, but Aaliyah Boston makes shots like that, and I've talked about it on my videos before. She has amazing touch around the rim, better than most players in the W that I've seen so far. She has real great touch around the rim. A lot of WNBA players miss a lot of layups, and Aaliyah Boston does not, so good on her. Now, this next play is really beautiful, man. Caitlin Clark draws attention once again. Aaliyah Boston isn't directly affiliated with the screening action, but guess what? She understands that all she has to do is go to the lane. Just go to the rim. Take the lane. You have a wide open lane. The defense is in scrambles. Use that to your advantage. Aaliyah Boston is understanding that. It is Aaliyah Boston. It is no real other teammate. And Alyssa Smith did her little work this game. It was really just Aaliyah Boston. And I'll give you guys the assist stats later. It's Aaliyah Boston, though, because she's the one learning that if she rolls, good things happen. And she's not even the fastest player on this team. That's why I'm waiting for Timmy Fag-Benley to come back and Alyssa Smith to take a backseat. Because Alyssa Smith is not as good as Timmy Fag-Benley is when it comes to screen and rolling. Aaliyah Boston is picking up on it, but she's not even full form because she's a big man. She's a slower player. Or she's not a man, but she's a big, right? So just be patient for when they get a real roller. When they get a real person who can just rim run. It's going to be beautiful. Aaliyah Boston's already learning, and she's already taken the role of a runner, and she's not even their runner. Just wait till they get a runner. It's going to be beautiful, man. For the record, that was 4 assists in a row from Caitlin Clark to Aaliyah Boston. But on to the next play. I want you guys to really analyze this play for a second. Caitlin Clark is drawing attention, and Christy Wallace all the way in the deep corner benefits from that. Even her defender is looking at Caitlin. Look at the cut by Christy, man. What a beautiful cut, man. I love to see it, because when you run plays like these where Christy Wallace is cutting, You have to have these players coached correctly. I'm not saying Coach Side sucks, because I'm not going to say Coach Side sucks. You know what? I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it here in the comfort of my home. I do not have a coaching job, so I won't say she sucks. But I think there's some things that Coach Side could teach these players better. I think there's a lot of things she could teach these players better, because they have to have more plays like this. This should not be a rare occurrence, because this is always happening. But this is something we never see. We never see Christy Wallace cut in that way and make use of the fact that even her defender is locked eyes on Caitlin Clark. But she cuts. That is what we like to see. Most of the time, you'll see Christy Wallace just sit there in the corner. If you go back and watch some of the plays, Christy Wallace, and maybe I'll do a video on that too. Christy Wallace literally will just sit in that corner. She'll just sit there in the corner. She won't cut. But this time she cut. It was rare, but she cut. And look how beautiful that happens. Now, this third turnover, I don't think it's Caitlin Clark's fault at all, because I think Kelsey Mitchell could have caught the ball. I think the time was running down and she may not have had the initiative to catch it. I don't know, but I mean, she could have caught the ball. Like, was the pass a bit off target? Yes. But that literally does not matter. It did not matter. She could have caught the ball, but she just didn't catch the ball. So now, you guys remember when I said Caitlin Clark took good care of the ball this game? This is another turnover, and this turnover is just an offensive foul. So it doesn't really take away from her taking care of the ball skills. I'm not really worried about the turnovers as much as I'm worried about her being able to take care of the ball. The other thing she has to work on dramatically is like keeping the dribble alive, because Caitlin Clark is really bad at that. She is a terrible pick and roller. Like, she does not know how to play the pick and roll at all, to be honest, because she always picks up her dribble too quickly, and the screens are so sloppy that I hate to sit there and call Sides a bad coach. She's just, I don't know what. I don't like. It seems like she's not like the players might be stubborn. Maybe she is trying to teach them to run a pick and roll correctly, and the players are just stubborn. But that needs to be fixed immediately. Either way, let's get on to the next play. Off the rebound, they give the ball to Caitlin. Caitlin Clark is pushing the pace. Good things happen. Aaliyah Boston just knows where to go. Aaliyah Boston just knows where to go at this point. It's so much like they can play. Their offense can be so unstoppable. Look at the Indiana Pacers, man. The Indiana Pacers, they have the best offense in NBA history. Because they have a point guard that loves pushing the pace with amazing vision. That is Caitlin Clark. You just have to teach her how to run a proper pick and roll and teach the players, how basketball works. And, because a lot of players don't understand. They don't understand how to screen. They don't understand when they should roll and why they should roll and what is happening when they roll or when they stay. They don't understand. These players have to understand, because I bet you the Indiana Pacers do. I bet you every single one of those players are real well-versed in basketball knowledge. They're real well-versed in, the JJ Redick podcast, because they understand basketball. That's why the plays work so well. Aaliyah Boston is learning just like a very simple rule. I play with Caitlin Clark. I should run to the paint. And if I just run to the rim, good things are going to happen. And you love to see it, man. Now, this next play, I actually like it a little bit, because Caitlin Clark comes off a screen, and the screen is actually a good screen, for one. Caitlin Clark, she takes the screen too early. She should have waited for it to set properly. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't really affect the play, because you see Alyssa Smith get the ball on that low post, and nice awareness by her to realize that she has an opportunity to score the basketball and post up, and that was beautiful. I like to see that too. Now, this one is a really nice play, because Caitlin Clark understands her gravity and understands that she's going to shoot that shot and it's going to be contested, and so she just passes it over. One thing I want to talk about, though, is the fact that Caitlin Clark, I don't know how WNBA rules fare to NBA rules, but what Steph Curry can do a lot of the time is pump fake that shot and then shoot it and then get 3 shots. You can just pump fake that joint, wait for the contact, and shoot it. That's what Trae Young does sometimes. You see Chris Paul do it. Caitlin Clark might as well. I mean, they're going to call her a dirty player, but basketball is basketball. Win the way you want to win. At the end of the day, if y'all going to close out mad hard like that, then you might as well pump fake, get the contact, 3 shots every time. Because who's not finna run to close out on Caitlin Clark at this point? So that's just something I wanted to say, because we've been waiting for Steph Curry to do that for a long time, and he does it every 5 games now. He still doesn't do it. Trae Young does it a lot. So anyway, on to the next play. Now, this play was beautiful. Because Aaliyah Boston is popping, man. The screen and roll action is still trash. It's still utterly garbage. But she's popping. And when she pops, bro, I'm telling y'all, when Aaliyah Boston is a spot up shooter, a jump shooter. She's a different level, because we talk about Aaliyah Boston. She's an all-star caliber player already, right? You look at Aaliyah Boston and you're like, hey, maybe she can like actually be a superstar. Maybe she'll go down as one of the greats if she develops that mid-range and that 3-point jump shot. Oh yeah, she will be, because she's so unstoppable in that paint. She's nearly unguardable. All it has to do with her learning the game. Like, it has to do with just her learning the game. Once she learns the game, she's really going to be unstoppable. And then when you look at the fact that she plays with Caitlin Clark, who's going to get her the ball, and then you look at the fact that she has amazing touch around the rim, and she already has the tools. She just has, that's really not even a skill. That's more of a gift. Having touch around the rim and having the ability to just get the rebound and go up with it and hit easy little floater shots and be able to make tough shots around the rim. I mean, that is the setup of a great player. So with Aaliyah Boston, it just comes down to whether or not this woman can start making 3-point jump shots, and she can make mid-range jump shots, and she can start shooting them. I just wanted to say all that. Check out this play. This is beautiful. What you have to notice, though, is that all of this happened just because Aaliyah Boston rolled. She rolled right to the rim. She went to the paint, and she made herself a threat. All of this happened. Bro, if Aaliyah Boston did not roll, you know, Kelsey Mitchell wouldn't have got that shot, right? Because the defense, it wouldn't have opened up in that way if Aaliyah Boston did not roll. But they never roll like that. On plays like this, it's always like a hesitancy to roll immediately. She rolled immediately, and look what it did. That is some Golden State Warriors offense if I've ever seen it. Good on them for that one. Now, this next play is the best pick and roll I've seen Caitlin Clark do all game, because she actually waited for the contact to be made. It was good long contact. She waited, then she comes off the screen. She's nearly shoulder to shoulder, right? She leaves a little space, but she's nearly shoulder to shoulder, and Aaliyah Boston rolls directly to the rim. What a beautiful pass, a beautiful play, man. Now, this last play is one I've shown in my last video. It is Caitlin Clark's last turnover of the game. The main issue here is that, you know what? Aaliyah Boston doesn't set a screen. She should have set a screen earlier, and beautiful things would have happened if she would have set the screen. For two, what happens is Aaliyah Boston doesn't post up correctly, and Caitlin Clark forces a pass that she shouldn't have to force, but they do have to force that pass because the time is running out, and they pump fake the screen. I've talked about it before. Who pump fake screens, man? Why are we pump faking screens? Set the screen. And I think the main reason why they're not setting screens is because they're not being coached properly. And they do not understand that if they set that screen, good things happen. They just don't understand it. That is what is happening. The fruit of it is these players not setting these screens because they do not know that they should set the screens. They don't know what happens when they set a screen like that. They don't understand what can happen on the offensive side of the basketball. They miss the opportunity, and then you put Caitlin Clark right back into ISO. Now she's right back into ISO mode, and you know what? She forces the pass down there to Aaliyah Boston. Aaliyah Boston's not properly posted up. Bad things happened. So all in all, Caitlin Clark had 13 assists, and the assists were beautiful. They were great, and it really had to do with Aaliyah Boston just understanding the role. She could average 15 assists per game. Talking about Caitlin Clark, if her teammates just understand how to roll, and Caitlin Clark understands how to run a pick and roll. But right now, they both do not know what they're doing, both Caitlin Clark and her teammates. So, you know, games like this are really just pure luck, and we need better coaching on the Indiana Fever. I would say in this game, only 3 of the turnovers were Caitlin Clark's fault. I mean, 2 of them were bad passes by her, and then 1 was an offensive foul. The other 2 was Kelsey Mitchell not passing the ball. So really, catching the ball. So really, I would probably say that Caitlin Clark had 13 assists and 3 turnovers in this game, but she obviously had 13 assists and 5 turnovers in this game. Either way, no matter if the turnover pops up on her feed or on the other player, her teammates, you know, on their report, it doesn't really matter. Like, you know, turnover's a turnover. They lost a possession, but they played well into that fourth quarter. And if you want to see how they collapsed utterly in this game, go check out my last video.